On May 25, 2020, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a tragedy unfolded that would send shockwaves across the globe. George Perry Floyd Jr., a 46-year-old black man, walked into a corner store, Cup Foods, like any other customer. Minutes later, he would be handcuffed, pressing pavement, and fighting for his life under the weight of a police officer's knee. Derek Chauvin, the officer who knelt on Floyd's neck, kept that pressure there for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Almost 10 minutes, an eternity when every second meant oxygen slipping away. Bystanders pleaded, asterisk, he can't breathe. Asterisk, asterisk, please get off of him. Asterisk, they filmed, they cried, but the knee did not move. George Floyd called out for his mother in desperation. Those words would haunt the world. But here's the thing. This wasn't just about one man. For millions of people, George Floyd's death was not a shock. It was a confirmation of what they had been saying for decades. The system is broken. Police violence, especially against black men and women, wasn't rare. It was routine. George Floyd was a name that caught fire, but his story was connected to so many others. Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, lives lost, too often without justice. The video of Floyd's death was impossible to ignore. Within hours, it spread across social media, and within days, streets across America were filled with people. Not just hundreds, not just thousands, millions. From New York to Los Angeles, from London to Paris, from Johannesburg to Tokyo, the words, "I can't breathe," became a rallying cry. People of every race, nationality, and background were demanding the same thing, justice. But what does justice look like in a system built on inequality? At first, Chauvin wasn't even arrested. Only after days of protests and worldwide outrage was he taken into custody. The world held its breath as the trial began. And when the guilty verdict came, murder, manslaughter, there was a sense of relief, but also a sobering truth. One conviction cannot undo centuries of injustice. Because this case wasn't just about George Floyd. It was about a pattern, one that leaves countless families grieving, one that tells communities of color that their lives are disposable. His death pulled the mask off of policing in America, militarized tactics, racial profiling, a justice system where poverty and skin color often decide your fate long before a judge or jury does. George Floyd's face became a symbol. Murals went up on walls from Minneapolis to Berlin. His name was chanted in protests in small towns and big cities alike. But symbols can only go so far. The bigger question is, what changes after protests end? What reforms survive when the cameras move on? For some, George Floyd's death was a turning point, sparking conversations about police reform, systemic racism, and accountability. For others, it became a point of division, fueling debates about protests, riots, and what justice truly means. But strip away the politics, the headlines, the hashtags. At the core, this was a man, a father, a brother, a friend, a human being who begged for breath and didn't get it. The case of George Floyd is more than just one man's story. It's the story of a system that has devalued black life for far too long. It's the story of communities rising up to say enough. And it's the story of how one man's final words lit a fire that still burns today. Because George Floyd's death was not the end. It was a beginning of a louder, stronger global movement reminding us all, Black Lives Matter.